Today we're continuing with our reflexives, beginning with a little bit of review. So remember that all reflexive infinitives must begin with either se or an s apostrophe. If it's not there, then it's not reflexive, as a matter-of-fact rule. This can be a little bit difficult because the same verb can often be either one, depending on the context in which it's being used. So for example, the verb préparer means to prepare something. Like je prépare le repas. I prepare the meal. But if you are preparing yourself, you're getting ready, heading out the door, your day is ready to start. Je me prépare. I'm preparing myself. It's the exact same verb, it's still préparer, but the inclusion of that reflexive pronoun, the se, is what's actually making it a reflexive verb. To conjugate it, all you have to do is worry about changing the se to match whatever your subject is, me, te, se, nous, vous, ce, and the verb otherwise conjugates however it normally does. A vast majority of our verbs in this unit are regular ER verbs. There are a few irregulars, such as s'en aller, but a vast majority of them are pretty simple. Remember, even when you're looking at a sentence, if there is no se, or no conjugation of the se, then this sentence cannot be reflexive, and the object of the action is somewhere else. So if we look at some examples, je lave le chien, I'm washing the dog. This is not a reflexive sentence because the person who is doing the action, je, and the person being acted upon, le chien, are not the same thing. I am not the dog is not me. We are two different things, and therefore it cannot be reflexive. Je lave le chien. There's no pronoun there. If we still use that verb laver, but we want to make it reflexive, je me lave, now I'm washing myself, because in order to be reflexive, the subject and the object of the verb must be the same person. Only this second sentence is reflexive, even though the verb is the same in both of them. If you are looking at a sentence and you can't decide if it's reflexive or not, the easiest way is just to look for that me, te, se, nous, vous, or ce in front of your verb. Even if you didn't know what the first sentence meant, you knew that looking in front of lave, there was no reflexive pronoun. Therefore, it couldn't be a reflexive sentence. So let's try it ourselves. For questions 1 and 2, do you need a reflexive pronoun in these sentences? Write down either the pronoun that we need, or write rien, nothing, if you don't need a pronoun. So, par exemple, je sèche les cheveux. Well, we know that we're drying hair, and we know that we're drying my hair because of the les. So therefore, in order to make this reflexive, since I am the one drying myself, I have to use the pronoun me. What would you do for sentences 1 and 2? We have 2 stem-changing verbs that we discussed in class, starting with se lever, to get up. Both of these will conjugate the se regularly. Me, te, se, nous, vous, ce. They're both, however, stem-changing verbs in the boot. So the me, tu, il, elle, on, il, and elle, we're going to add an accent to that very first E, in this case an accent grave. Nous and vous, however, remain accentless. These stem changes only happen within the boot, in those singulars and the last of the plural column. We're going to do the same sort of thing with se sécher. The difference is, since there's already an accent on se sécher, we have to change the direction of the accent in the boot. So nous and vous retain the accent aigu that we see in the infinitive, but je, tu, il, elle, on, il, and elle will all change it into an accent grave. Other than that, both of these verbs conjugate normally. The only difference is in that accent within the boot. All right, questions 3 and 4. Complete the following sentences by conjugating the verb given. Write the entire sentence on your devoir, please. All right, the new information we're going to look at today is negating. So how to say that we're not doing something reflexive. Normally, if we're going to say that we are not doing something, we put ne and pas around the verb. So for example, je joue au base, I'm playing baseball. Our verb is joue, playing. So we're going to put the ne in front of the joue and the pas after the joue, and then continue on with our sentence. Je ne joue pas au base. I'm not playing baseball. You must have both the ne and the pas. You can't just skip one. And they must be around the verb. You cannot put them next to each other. Ne and pas will never go next to each other. And they'll never be in the object of the sentence. So for example, je ne joue au base or je joue pas au base, both sentences very similar to things that you've turned in class, are both horribly wrong. Stop doing it. You must have both the ne and the pas, and they must be around the verb. When we're doing this with reflexives, we're going to follow the same basic rule. We're going to put the ne and the pas around the verb. However, when we look at our reflexive infinitives, we see that we actually have two words, se and lave. The se is called a reflexive pronoun. That's how we get our me, te, se, nous, vous, and ce. However, both words are required in order to be considered a reflexive verb. So therefore, our ne and our pas must go around both words. Don't split them up. So if we look at the example sentence, je me brosse les dents, I'm brushing my teeth. If you're being gross today and you're not brushing your teeth, je ne me brosse pas les dents. The me brosse must stay next to each other because you need both of those words for it to be considered a reflexive verb. So, your turn. Complete the following sentence by conjugating the negative verb given. Please write the entire sentence on your devoir. Elle ne pas se coiffer aujourd'hui. So you're going to conjugate se coiffer, and then we're going to say that she did not style her hair today. How would you do that?